Dear listener, ClockTower is intended for mature audiences and might be inappropriate or possibly triggering to some. Many of the themes and events in ClockTower are inspired by weird fiction as well as similar concepts, which means the show can get dark. If that isn't something you enjoy, please listen at your own discretion. We here at the ClockTower care about you, so please put your mental health first. Our show will be here when you're ready.
Welcome to Season 2 of ClockTower, a D&D 5e experience. To all our old and new listeners, we're excited to have you here with us. ClockTower is a D&D campaign turned audio drama, played with a custom class and a few house rules that we as a group collectively enjoy. If you find yourself getting a little lost, there's always older episodes to guide you back to the path. With all that said, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and welcome to the ClockTower. The two strangely shimmering figures sitting at the table in the corner of the bar look over when Summer calls over to them. One leaning back in response as Summer asks, "What was your name again, friend?"
My name is Clyde, and if you're talking to my buddy, his name's Cork.
You see the hooded figure sort of like lifts its head up, and you see the glint of light reflecting off of eyeballs, looking back at you, peering from under the hood, even despite the strange wooble that they have surrounding them. As Summer puts his hands on his hips, he's always standing upright with his chest puffed out too, not in an arrogant way, but in a way of just man, this man hides nothing and just has everything out on the table all the time. As he goes, "Yeah, see? Totally good. Good dudes."
So, don't you think it's a little weird that, people who aren't even ClockTower agents can just be here?
He, looks up at the ceiling as if he's thinking, and his face sort of scrunches for a second, his eyes narrow as he goes, "No?
No?
Well, the way I see it, I don't really think we're supposed to be here. I was talking to those guys about it a little bit earlier, actually. Apparently, the ClockTower, when it's ordering a world, it's time has a flavor."
Excuse me?
Yeah, well, you know how, if you've got a buddy who's really good at cooking, right? And then you have some of his food, and then somebody else makes the exact same meal that could even follow your buddy's recipe, but there's just something about the way your buddy makes it. Maybe he cooked it a little bit longer, maybe he seasoned it a little bit heavier. Whatever he did, it has a very distinct way that it tastes, and you can recognize whether or not your buddy cooked it or somebody else cooked it following your buddy's recipe. Apparently, if you are someone who can travel between worlds, and you can go to a place that the ClockTower doesn't order things, that time has nothing to do with the ClockTower, because apparently where they come from, they need 2 pocket watches to tell the time. He said, that one, the guy, Cork?
The two gentlemen at the table seem to be talking kind of hushed. They have a paper between them, and they seem to be having a small discussion between themselves. But the one that had spoken previously, who called himself Clyde, he looks back and says, I'm Clyde. My buddy here is, his name is Cork, yeah. Cork, introduce yourself.
Hello. Yeah, that guy. He's got 2 watches. Apparently one tells the time, and the other one tells what time it isn't.
What? How do you know which one is which?
I look at them and then I know.
All right.
Well, except not for here, right? Correct.
And nobody's watches work down here. I don't know if you've checked yours, but it's like it is in the tower, just spinning. And if you go on a mission, and then you come down here while the mission's up, it'll tell you what time it is, or what your time is left on the mission, not down here.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, I've only been down here when I was on one mission one time, and that was a very long time ago, so.
See, where I come from, time ain't really a big thing like it is here. I don't know how y'all deal with this nonsense.
Very carefully?
It's probably for the best.
I'm gonna take a look at my watch.
you see as you open it up. It also feels weird every time you pick up that watch because as soon as you grab it, it feels like you're holding something that is both a part of you and not yours. And you click it, and it opens, and you see the hands are spinning just like it would if you checked it in the clock tower when a mission wasn't going.
Okay. So I kind of thought we were still sort of in the clock tower.
Well, I have a couple theories about that. You know, your clock tower had a wardrobe, right? And the door behind the wardrobe? Everybody's does. All right. So there's like this darkness in there that like normal light can't penetrate. It's just, if you touch it, you end up on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that is a soup.
Fascinating.
A soup?
Yeah, I like food, okay? But like everything comes from the soup. It's all like, it's always turning and bubbling, and it's like this big whirling mass that's in between everything. And I think that the clock tower kind of like reaches down and pulls worlds out of the soup and like creates them. Maybe, I don't know if the clock tower creates things or if it just like keeps things from sinking into the soup, but I think that we all came from that soup at one time. Like if I remember back enough, I feel like I remember clawing my way out of that soup. Some people don't. A lot of people have talked to me and they say that they had a family and a home that they came from. I don't remember that. I don't remember any of that. I remember a bunch of churning black nightmares of things making and unmaking themselves, and then I remember crawling my way to existence, which is kind of how I feel a lot of the things, those like weird creatures that we fight, all these eldritch monsters. I feel like they just did the same thing, but they got the worst end of the stick. They like clawed their way into a world they shouldn't have been in instead of clawing their way to the clock tower. I think we're down here in that soup. And I think that whatever sort of order that we have down here is like we're hiding from the sun in the clock tower's shadow. Or in this case, hiding from the soup.
So where do you think the owl lands in all of that?
I don't know. I don't know because a long time ago when I was an agent, the owl was nice to me.
Yeah, was pretty cool to me before I was with my current team.
I
like them.
All the newer clock tower agents that I've spoken to have said that the owl is mean now, like bitter and malicious, and that you shouldn't even trust anything that it does tell you, even if you pay it to tell you. Like it'll purposely mislead you with the truth, which is fucked, by the way. Can I just say, like, it's not right. He like points at Trinket as if he's to illustrate his point, that he's like, he takes it very personally that someone would lie with the truth. As he goes, but all the same, I think that those weird messages that are like the one on the door says you shouldn't open the door, and then the one on the like hatch that you pull up, and it's got like some weird script ripped out of books. I don't know what it says, but on the other side of the river in this one place where the mountains open up to a pass, there's a sign that you can, if you like look real close, there's a sign you can see. And I don't know, I bet it says something, but I don't know what it says. And there's gotta be a reason or a purpose to all these messages that are being left. But the thing is that like, Casey set this place up down here with me and Lucy helping him, and it's everything we could want it to be. It is a little safe haven for us. But I don't think that this was intended to be here. Or if it was intended to be here, that it would be, then why would we have to have set it up?
Yeah.
I don't know. What was your question again?
I don't know. This is kind of a lot to take in.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way when they first get here. It also, in some people's experience, from what I've been told, especially those that suffered through some more of the heinous things that they've seen on missions, the fact that a place like this exists, they feel like it makes them a liar.
To me, I think it might just be too good to be true.
Well, I can understand that you feel that way, but I promise I, at least, have not led you falsely.
I don't think you have.
he nods at you, and you see one of the two people sitting at the table, the cloaked figure with the hood, has like gotten closer to you, like scooted their chair far away from the table, just like as if that was inconspicuous. And like Summers looks over to him.
I want to say normal, but the more normal of the two, the cowboy-looking fella, Clyde, he looks to his partner and says, "Cork, you gotta ask. Can I examine your skin?" All right, well, we talked about this. That ain't the best opener.
I'm gonna say no.
Fuck. He then turns around and then like sort of solemnly folds his arms and then kind of looks at the table as if he's examining his plan of action. Sorry about that. He comes from a region in my world, very very inquisitive type. We're not quite used to this place. We're trying to help, but the more we do that, the more we realize that our magic, I guess you'd call it, don't work too well here.
I'm pretty sure my skin is the same as your skin. Just so you know.
I don't have skin.
Oh, God.
Yeah, sorry about that. Do you drink by chance? Can I get you a drink around, maybe?
No, I'm okay.
All right, sorry about that. Anyway.
Summer like leans over to you. Trinket gets kind of close and goes, "You said you had other questions for me. Do you want to go to my office?"
Yes.
All right. Go ahead, follow me. I got a small room. It's not my office, actually. It's Casey's office. I'm not the mayor of this town. As he leads you out of the bar, and you see, as you guys go, that the large man that was at the wearing the sort of like stitched together ClockTower jacket has finished cutting apples and arranged them in a like flower pattern on a big platter. And you just like a small detail that you notice as you're leaving that's like, oh, that's really pretty. And then he leads you to the office. Meanwhile, in the library, Sam, there are more books here than you would have hoped to find on the topics that you're looking for. It appears that forbidden magic is a topic that changes vastly from world to world, and that most worlds have completely different structures on what they think is forbidden. But there's like one underlying factor, which is that there's two things you don't fuck with. You don't fuck with time, and you can't bring somebody back from the dead truly. There's like a ton of necromancy, a ton of shit like that. But one of the ones that recurs the most, and there are worlds where like gods exist and arcane magic exists to the point where people do things like reincarnate people and bring people back from the dead and resurrect their friends. And those are almost always worlds that have like extremely high magic. Something where before that soul is like gone completely, and it's like usually within a certain time frame. And even then the power levels that allow you to do that are far outside of a normal peasant or farmer ever hoping to resurrect their wife. But the big one of not messing with time is that you don't ever know what you're going to get.
I think Sam pours through like as much skimming as possible, right? Trying to get a very big 101 gleam of all the information here, but eventually starts honing in more on ritualistic type magic, things that would probably take time, but are a lot more consistent and repeatable than, yes, find this certain magic altar, and then this will happen. I think especially Sam is focusing in on dimensional travel, traveling to the spaces between spaces, and either a way to slip through those or to open a door between those.
There is a spell that you see various different versions of from a bunch of other worlds, but its common name that you found in several books is called Gate. And you start realizing that the mental bandwidth that you would need and the like power, just raw magical power that you would need to open that. You don't know that in your natural life as a clock tower, whatever the length of your natural life as a clock tower, given that the clock tower is constantly resetting you to number 1 and doesn't let you keep certain magical items or advantages, you're not sure that you would ever be able to gain enough power to do something like open a gate safely. Now, unsafely, and doing something like using one of those bullets as a catalyst and copying the runes you saw, you can tell that those were somewhere in between like a teleportation circle glyph and a gate. And it wasn't done well. It was done really badly, actually. That's why it opened to that strange plane where everything beyond a certain point was just the black unmaking of the wardrobe.
Right.
It kind of opened up a small plateau into nothing. And that was part of the problem. That's why time was wrong there, because from what you've studied in these books, from what you studied of those glyphs, and from what you've been able to like cross-examine and troubleshoot yourself, the time that was there was just what was spilling through the opening.
Okay.
Which is sort of a disappointing conclusion to the amount of studying that Sam has just done in this library and how fast you've done it. Also to the point where like, I'm not sure how much you were able to get through while you've been here, but I think Sam reads really fast at this point.
They probably do a kind of reading where it's less slowly word by word digesting information and more of they kind of have a keyword search in their brain where they're like jumping between major chapter heads and then looking at the broad page, and if there's certain keywords there that jump out at them, they continue reading. If not, they move to the next.
You're doing very targeted studying.
Absolutely. Which helps a lot.
And you're hoping that touching books down here means they'll show up in your clock tower.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't be sure because this isn't technically a world and you don't know how that works.
All in all, I'd like to write down as much of the illustrations of like glyphs, runes, a list of things that like could be conduits for opening gates, places where you might find where worlds are thin, or there might be like thinning eddies in the world. Just things to look out for.
Okay. Meanwhile, Jaeger has held off his search of Acid Man books to research magical bullets first.
Okay.
Roll an investigation check for me.
7.
Do you remember that car manual you found?
Yeah.
A lot of these books about magical tomes are written in languages you don't read, which is frustrating in and of itself because you had a hard enough time learning one language, and these don't even look like letters.
What the fuck is that thermodynamic fluctuation? What the fuck is that? He throws a book on the... He's about to throw the book on the floor, then like stops. And puts it back into the bookcase and stops and thanks and goes, something else. Something else? It's fine? It's fine. I can figure this out I just want to know what these do. Let's look for pictures. And so Jaeger reaches into his bandolier, pulls out a black bullet, stares at it, looks at all the intricacies, and then looks for a description of that.
Okay. You start going through books, like looking as best you can for a picture that matches it. And you find like an old journal tucked away in the corner that when you open it up has someone's like handwritten notes. And you see there's tons of images of bullets that look like this. They look different. They look like differently made. Maybe the ones in the book they're hand-drawn, so it's hard to tell, but they don't look the same, but they're the same kind of thing. Like if you were comparing two different brands of vacuums. They're different, they're made completely differently, but they accomplish the same task. And as you're looking at it, you can tell that it's written from the perspective of somebody who's talking about people using these bullets, not them using the bullets. Similar to how some sword fighting manuals were written by people who didn't sword fight, but they just watched and wrote down all of the notes from somebody who did sword fight. And you find this journal, Jaeger, and then, as you find it, the library doors open, and you hear the librarian look up and go, "Oh, hello? What can I do for you? Are you here? Do you have a message? Or are you here to look in the library?" As Barrett, you see the nice-looking ClockTower agent, or what you can assume was a ClockTower agent with one of their eyes being completely black, as they look at you with a both reserved and hopeful expression.
You have quite a collection here.
Yes, it is my life's work. I mean, like, being a ClockTower agent is, I guess, also most of our life's work, but I am more proud of this.
If this means I feel very vindicated right now. Have you seen somebody this tall come in recently?
The agent looking for forbidden magic,
Yeah.
and the other one looking for Acid Man.
Oh, yeah.
Corner of that wing and right behind this shelf here.
Oh, okay. And, where are your fantasy rom-coms?
Do you have, like, a pairing preference?
What do you suggest?
Do you want, like, a brotherhood of knights? Or a meeting of princesses? Or are you more...
Not picky.
Oh. Well, in that case, you don't need to worry about how they're organized, and it's that whole row, middle row of this section right here.
Great. Just asking. Don't mind me. I gotta go find my friends really quick.
Okay. If you want to check out any of the books, just let me know.
Oh, I will.
And you go look where the librarian suggested, and you see Sam has just a bunch of books piled up. Like, Sam makes little nests around themselves with
Little
books.
circular. It's like kind of how redwood trees work, where it's like Sam's in the center and there's like ring, outer ring, another ring.
Well, I'm glad I caught you before the experimental phase.
What? Oh, hi. You good?
Yeah. Are you?
I'm great.
Your eyes are a little bloodshot there.
What? Oh, it's because I'm staring too hard.
Don't forget
Sometimes
to
I
blink.
keep looking at books and my eyes crossed, and it like the cross eye thing focuses on a certain word I hadn't seen, which is what I'm looking for in the first place.
Well, might want to give this a break a little bit. I have a feeling the museum is right up your alley, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think stepping away and coming back would be a good thing for me on this. Kind of bumping into it, and I just realized I have to put these all away in order. Fuck.
Yeah, well, you could get some help. I don't know. I don't really know where these came from, so I don't really have much of a help I would be.
No, it's okay. I think I got this pretty quick. And like, as Sam is talking, I kind of like stand up and start putting them back in the loose order.
While I was talking to Homer in the museum, he runs the museum.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very, very involved in his work. He's very
I like science. Do you like history? Because we found you in a museum. Kind of come back to a museum.
It was more for I was looking to see where we can stash this fucking eye.
Oh.
And this place seems like the perfect place. Like the perfect place.
I don't know, Barrett. Listen, I think it's a great idea, honestly, like, to put it someplace, but it's in a jacket in the wardrobe in the tower, and I don't know, maybe this is just me, but when you hold the eye in the tower, it shows up. It talks to you. It does things in your tower. I don't know if it being down here would be a good thing or a bad.
I had those same exact thoughts before I walked into the museum.
And you think it's good now?
I think there are things that are of equal value that have been there for longer than you've been sentient.
Well, not a high bar, but
Longer than I've been sentient.
all right, you're getting warmer. Okay.
It looks safe and honestly looks around, looks out the window. I can't imagine better backup.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like it's almost irresponsible leaving it alone in our tower.
Oh, wow. Let me take a look at it, but maybe we can come back here anytime. And what it sounds like, though, means anything going anywhere.
No.
Is the Jaeger okay? Why doesn't he leave?
I was told he was looking for Acid Man, so I figured he was busy.
That makes sense. I'm glad he's reading.
Me too. I'm glad he enjoys it.
Yeah. And Sam puts away the final book on the shelf. All right, yeah, ready to go when you are.
You know where Trinket is?
Oh,
Last I left them, they were still helping with the boxes, but I think that finished up a while ago.
do you think Trinket would go to a bar by themselves?
If Summer were there,
We should probably head to the town hall, right?
yeah, I can see. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, grab Dagger or see if we can pull him away, and if
Yeah.
not, then
probably. You know what? You go grab Yeager. I gotta go do something really quick.
oh sure, yeah, no problem.
I'll meet you at the front.
Yeah, okay. Sam shuffles down to the stairs.
I'm gonna go get a book.
Okay.
Yeah.
The row that they pointed to you for the rom-com fantasy books is right next to the door. So you can, you're about to go out and you look over to the row.
Why not? I mean, I'm just gonna start dragging my finger across all the spines of these books and reading and taking all these different names and see if there's anything that speaks to me, I guess.
Okay.
I'm not used to having this much choice.
You see a bunch of different titles. A couple that stand out to you are The Drifter and the Night, The Saving of the Princess Rulin, and My Time with the Scarecrow.
Let's check out the Scarecrow. I'm gonna just look at the, first couple pages really quick.
The first couple pages are about how this poor farmer girl's house was about to get completely raided and burnt down by this gang of fire whip wielding bandits, and the scarecrow of their farm came to life to defend her and her family, and the fire whips of the bandits burned away the straw of the scarecrow and made him in his sacrifice a real
I'm
man.
gonna close the book. Puts it back. Let's look at the princess one.
This book is about a fantasy world in which every queen of every kingdom is guaranteed to have at least one of their princesses to stay home and live with them. The king had married away all of the queen's daughters except for one. And when one of her daughters, the last one that was staying home with her, fell ill and passed away, there was an entire uproar in the kingdom that the queen no longer had a daughter to stay with her. And so the king decreed that the princess that was married away to the harshest, most brutal kingdom would come home, but the king of that kingdom denied him. And so an elite team of knights was sent in deep into that kingdom to rescue that princess and bring her home so that her mother could still have one princess as her daughter.
Aren't these supposed to be rom-coms? What the hell?
Do you look at that one more?
I'll look at the back of the book and see what it says. If there's a author's bio or something.
The author's bio talks about how the plot of the book was their favorite method to deliver fun and intriguing romance story among the different characters that were sent to save the princess.
All right, looks like I got a winner. I'll take it to the librarian.
Okay. They look at you and they go, "Oh, I love that one."
Okay, well,
They made it into a movie on that world.
a movie. All right, well, you don't have movies here, do you?
No, I like the books better.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so sign the book out here in this ledger, and when you do so, just sign your name and make sure that as you're writing it with the intent to bring this book back to your clock tower.
Yeah.
Things work weird down here. While you have this book, I won't have it.
Oh,
The copies down here can be lent out to other people and they'll show up in their clock tower, but when you give it back to the library, it won't be in your clock tower anymore. It doesn't, the clock tower allows you to bring it to your tower, but it doesn't make a copy of it like it would from the world. I think it's because when you take a book from the world, you're taking that book back to your tower, and the tower is either just copying it or resetting something so that world isn't missing anything, so you're not taking anything from that world. But down here, it doesn't do that. It just lets you take it to the tower.
So what you're telling me is you're running a real library.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, where do I sign?
Over right here. And they put out a ledger in front of you. Just take care of it, because if you're not in your clock tower, any damage you do to the book is real.
Right. Okay. What's your guys' donation?
Oh, we accept donations.
Okay. I definitely have probably more than I need right now. I'm getting a little cluttered, and I think I got a couple doubles that aren't very good.
Hey, your friends mentioned something about you liking something called Beowulf?
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of Beowulf. Lots of different Beowulf.
Isn't that neat?
Exactly. That's what's so fascinating about it. I don't even really like the book all that much, but I just love comparing, and, it's its own little thing.
There's this book I love called The Dragon's Tower that is actually about the dragon. You know the classic setup of like a princess in the tower, dragons defending the tower, and knight saves the princess? This book is written all about the perspective of the dragon completing like an honorable task of keeping the princess away from like ill suitors. And I've read 7 different versions of this book by different authors on different worlds.
What's the maximum amount I can check out?
I only allow people to check out 2 books at a time because time is weird down here. I don't know if anybody explained that to you, but you might never bring the book back, and I'm sort of accepting that. But so far, I've ended up with more books from people who have borrowed and wanted to donate some of their books than I have lost books to people who don't come back. And there is the chance, I've heard, that you could not come back if you retire or something else happens.
Well, if that's the case, I'll make sure I've donated my fair share before that happens.
I appreciate that. What was your name?
Barrett.
They smile at you and say, I'm Freya.
Freya, nice to meet you.
And they shake your hand.
You do good work here. This place is too nice.
Well, I try really hard to keep it orderly and...
Well, yeah, this place is nice, but,
Oh, you meant Hayven.
Yeah.
Yeah. They look kind of sad for a second, and they say, I wish my team had seen it.
Yeah, that's what hurts. Thankfully, I get to bring my team here as they are now, but there's a good fair share of folk I wish at least even knew this existed.
Yeah, and with Lucy's mirror being gone, it's not like we can even tell other people about this place, because what good would it do?
Well, we'll keep an eye out.
They, kind of have to stifle a laugh of, I don't know if existence is really big. Infinity, very large. I think everybody in Hayven has kind of just accepted that mirror it's gone.
Well, you gotta at least somewhat try. Isn't Lucy trying?
Well, yeah, but Lucy's the only one who can bring people here. Lucy can give them the light.
Well, sounds like Lucy could use some help. As I finish writing down for the Dragon's Tale, book 2, it's where can I find the other? Which one would you recommend? You said there's...
They reach, on the desk below the desk that you're signing on, and they close a book, and they hold it out to you.
I'll take it. You recommend this one, huh? Is this,
I reread that one about once a week.
Okay, I'll take good care of it then.
I have a copy.
Okay. Well, I'm looking over their shoulder and getting on my tippy toes just to make sure I'm not just barely missing Sam or I'm just gonna wait outside. It's dangerous for me to take too long in here.
Okay.
And I've met my quota here. As I close her little sign out book. And till next time.
Sam, give me a history check.
13.
You know where most of the books go. but there are 3 of them. And you're looking at the shelf like a sea, like a wave about to crash into you, as you don't know where they go.
So there's 3 open slots?
No.
Oh, makes it way harder.
The book's like shifted. Not all of them are like packed so tight that they're standing up. They're like all shifted around.
Are these books interesting to me, or they're like immediate duds, like didn't work?
They're duds. That's why you don't know where they go. You looked at them like 2 times.
Sam like hoists them under one of their arms and like kind of carrying waddles them down the stairs and sets them on the Freya's desk. All right, hi. Really good information up there. Really appreciate it. I realized partway through that it's not a tower down here. It doesn't reorganize itself. I put the rest away where they go. I just couldn't remember.
I'll take care of it.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry.
And you know what? Would you believe me if I said you're not the first person to have done that at all?
Yeah. My friend's down at the Acid Man, right?
I think they were, last I saw, they were looking at the books for the bullets still.
Okay. And Acid Man's down that way. Can I?
And then your other friend came in looking for you as well?
Oh, yeah, Barry. I thought they already left.
What? Yeah, he checked out a book and then left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna surprise Vegger with, an Acid Man thing, and then...
They nod and kind of point you in the direction of the Acid Man books.
Sam, like, kind of hustles, a gentle library jog.
Okay.
Down to where that shelf is.
All right. Elsewhere, across town, Trinket, you follow Summer into Town Hall, and out, in the sort of lobby of Town Hall, you see a very well-kept woman who's wearing, a very neat ClockTower outfit, very washed and pressed. And they have, a very posh sort of demeanor about them. She's reading a letter and snickering to herself as if something in the letter is very scandalous or some juicy goss. And when she sees Summer, she smiles, and Summer almost walks past her, and she goes, "Summer, you have to check in." As he goes, "Do I really have to check? I mean, I'm going up to the office." And she's, "Well, if you were the mayor, you wouldn't have to check in." And Summer looks back at you and looks at the girl and goes, and then walks over to the book, scribbles something on the book, and then holds the pen out to you and goes, "Here, check in with Stell real fast so that we can go. She's doing her job."
All right. I'll sign the book.
Okay. You sign it. You go. You see the book is like summer. And as you follow him up, he opens his door and you see that there's a nice desk that looks like it hasn't had anybody sitting behind it in a long time, but does have a bunch of papers stacked up on it, and there's papers stacked up on the chair that somebody would sit on at the desk. And then there's a smaller, wooden chair that's on the wrong side of the desk that looks like Summer has been doing all of his mayoral work from the wrong side of the desk because he refuses to sit in that other chair. As he pulls the wooden chair up and goes, "Here, 1 second." And he goes over and picks up the stack of papers and documents, sets it off to the side. You see all the papers are all handwritten. And then he goes, you can sit in that chair. Nobody will confuse you for the mayor. And then he sits down in the wooden chair.
All right. I take a seat.
So, what questions did you have for me?
Well, okay, you're not gonna like these questions.
Summer looks a little taken aback.
All right, so I want to ask you about your friend, Lucy, because my friend is looking for someone who is an aspect of the owl, and I don't really understand, so was she was a child and grew up into an adult, and we've been an aspect of the owl the whole time? What is this?
Yeah, so just to make sure I'm following your question is Lucy an aspect of the owl? The answer is yeah.
Yeah,
yes. And she was a child. I don't know if you've noticed that the aspects can all look very similar, but they are slightly different on every world. I mean, I've only met an aspect of the owl other than Lucy, 3 times. So I don't know if your sort of like pool of information is larger than mine. But from what I understand, the aspects of the owl, you know what, it might be easier to put some terms on this conversation so we both don't get confused. If I say aspect of the owl, I'm going to be talking about the people.
Yeah.
The ones that are like normal people. And then if we say low, that'll be the owl.
Okay.
Because that one is, I don't know if you've noticed that they're all named something with L, but they're different things. And as far as I understand, there's something between the owl, there's something between Low and the clock tower that is some sort of weird power dynamic that the owl, you know what, maybe I should just call it the owl, that the owl's not happy about. And all the aspects don't even know half the time that they are related to the owl in some way. It's like they're all children of the owl or something that then they get possessed and they have to answer our questions if we ask and pay them. And that's how it used to work. When I was on my very few missions, I was very confused and I met somebody with blue hair and I had this like burning need to give them a coin because I was confused, and when I did, the owl greeted me and told me everything I needed to know about being a ClockTower agent and about how everything that was good worked out and what my purpose was being a ClockTower agent, and then answered my question. And from what I understand, that is not how it works anymore.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
And so, all right. You said I wasn't gonna like your questions. You may not like my story. Casey, the first mission he ever went on was to go find another ClockTower agent. Some witch in a hut that almost killed him. I think she did kill him. And then he killed her, and he didn't realize what he was doing or what that meant. And when he did realize, he was horrified. He was appalled that that was what he had to do. And the next mission that he went on, he went to a world. I've only seen one of these kind of missions, but I'm sure that you've seen them. The globe missions.
Right.
And in that world, everybody was falling asleep. And when they fell asleep, it was over. No waking up. And that was happening to everyone in the entire world. And the only one it wasn't happening to was a little blue-haired girl who was now alone in a world that she didn't understand what was going on because she wasn't affected by that magic.
Okay.
And Casey said that if he had to destroy the world, he would then destroy that little blue-haired girl, and he wasn't about to have that. And when he told the owl this, the owl was so grateful that the owl helped Casey devise a way to not complete that mission and save that little girl.
Oh.
And that's how Casey got the mirror.
Oh.
The owl gave it to him.
So why haven't you guys asked the owl for a new one? I'm sorry, that was a stupid question.
Well, the thing is, if you talk about the owl around Lucy, she gets very upset. Primarily because when she came here to Hayven, she grew up. She grew up to a certain point, and she, as a young child who has only been camping with her dad in the forest for her entire lifetime, once more, she wanted to go do more things. She wanted to go find other people who needed to come here. And Casey didn't like that. He didn't like that idea, but she eventually persuaded him, and he gave her his pocket watch.
Ooh.
And his ring. And she took his place being a ClockTower agent. And it worked. Apparently, if you have if you give your pocket watch to somebody with the intent of letting them take on the job for you, they do.
Oh.
And since Casey was here, it wasn't like retiring other places. And I was the first person that Lucy found. And she showed me with the mirror how to come here. I paid 1 coin. We both came here. Lucy has this light. It's like this fire that she can summon from herself, like a little blue flame. Apparently, the owl told Casey, who told Lucy, how to use that light, and that's how they made the mirror in the first place. They used some other things in the world, some magic that I don't understand. They made the mirror using that light. that light in and of itself can guide people through the darkness, just like your strange lantern there can. So now without the mirror, Lucy's using the only tool she's got left, which is that light, to help guide people down here. But it'd be a lot easier if we had that mirror still.
Yep.
And then while she's been away, well, she already knows. This is not something that, it's not like new drama that you're gonna have to deal with, but Casey passed away while she was out doing the work for the people of Hayven. She never got to say goodbye to him.
Oh.
Summer looks very sad about that.
Is that why you won't take the job?
I told him that despite what he meant to me, despite what Lucy meant to me, I didn't want this job. I didn't want to be responsible for everybody in Hayven. Hayven was his thing. And then, look, do you know how many people have passed away and died here in Hayven from old age? 3. In the entire time that I've been here, 3 people have passed away, and they were all content. They were all happy. They were all done, including Casey.
Right.
And that's not fair to me.
Excuse me?
I didn't want this job. I'm not content. All right, I'm not growing any older than I am. No matter how much I try to help the people of Hayven, no matter how much everything here means to me, I don't get to pass away peacefully in my sleep at night. I've been here for longer than most people have been a ClockTower agent, running this town. It's not my job. I didn't ask for this. I didn't build this. Okay, I did help build it a lot. I did almost build almost every building in this place, but you know what? I didn't ask to be mayor. I didn't want to be mayor. That's Casey's thing. Casey's the leader. Casey's the first ClockTower agent turned to this beautiful community to bring paradise and a retirement home for all of us. Not me. I'm just a guy.
I mean, maybe your problem is that you haven't accepted your role.
Nah, that can be it. But,
So, Lucy will probably be back here at some point.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you can catch her when she's here and you're not here, she, like, goes back immediately. She, like, drops somebody off, gives them a light. I haven't seen Lucy in a long time. And his, like, face scrunches up, like, he starts to be very worried about that statement. As he goes, God, I wish we had cell phones.
Yeah, that would be real convenient.
I don't think it would.
I don't think you'd get service.
Yeah.
Dang, okay.
Glad you understood what that meant, because some people don't know what those are.
Oh yeah, I went to this world. They were celebrating the new year. It was the whole thing.
Oh. All right. Well, do you have more questions for me?
Well, I'm sure my friend would have some more questions for you about this whole thing. 'Cause like I mentioned, we're looking for, the whole reason we came down here is because we're looking for an aspect of the owl who is somewhere. It's complicated. I don't really get it because I wasn't there.
So
but I was kind of hoping, if we learn more about other aspects of the owl, we could at least get a little bit of. So I wasn't sure if they were just normal people, or if they were like us.
I think
or
they are as much normal people as all of us are normal people. What is a normal person connected to a cosmic destiny? Hey, it's me, Ellie again. We're coming up on the end of another year of doing the show. Well, not exactly, since when we started the show and when this year ends are different times. But I mean to say, the services we use to host the show are giving us our end of the year stats. And according to numbers told to me by the internet, there are a lot more people out there listening to the show than there were before. So, if you're new, welcome. And if you've been here a while, thanks for sticking around. I think I feel a lot like the ClockTower agents do. I've been told there's a lot of us out there, but I don't see them myself, just the numbers. So if you reached out in our community Discord or messaged me or hell, engaged with the show in any way, thank you for doing so. It's nice to meet another agent from time to time, and I think we all could use a little time in a place like Hayven. So now, on to credits. If you would like to work with us or collaborate with us, contact us through our website, clocktoweragent.com. If you would like to learn more about the art behind ClockTower, check out youtube.com/@ClockTower Art and Animation. Barrett was played by Bink. Sam was played by Cal. Trinket was played by Kball. Jaeger was played by Trent. I, Ellinthris, was your DM, and additional characters played by Valik Donahew. The voice of our disclaimer is also Valik Donahew. You can check out his work at patreon.com/themadlanedreamer. All music from Season 1 of ClockTower and additional songs for Season 2 of ClockTower made by Who's Music. If you would like your own D&D music commissioned, you can contact them and find all of their work through their website, whosisthis.com. Find it in the description below. Thanks, Who's. Additional music and effects are provided by Andrew Smith and Cal. Thank you to our editing team and Cal for making the episodes what they are. Thank you to our sponsor, Alpha Lupine Images, for donating the equipment to help us make more content with better quality. And thank you again for listening. Oh, nope, missed a bit. The ClockTower test on our website was programmed by Mike LeMay, and thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. And thank you again for listening. ClockTower Season 2, Episode 46 will be out for all of our early episode patrons on January 3rd, and will release publicly on January 10th. Till then, time's ticking. See you in the ClockTower.